Good morning, RGR football. Today is Wednesday, the 31st. And yesterday, the Chiefs brought in Austin Blythe on a 1 year deal. I have yet to see the contract details at the time that I'm recording this. So if you guys end up seeing that, go ahead and put that in the comments so we can all kind of figure out what that's going to be. Now, obviously, the Chiefs bring in another Austin. It's not Austin Ryder. And I think that a lot of people have really kind of gotten into this Austin Ryder's the worst thing in the world. Now, he's not the worst center in the world, guys. I do believe that he is would have been okay to bring back as a stopgap center, but I truly believe that he's a backup. Now, what does Blythe bring to this offense that Austin Ryder doesn't? He's definitely a stronger center, in my opinion. Now, there is some speculation that he might just be asked to compete at guard since that was what he was on the Rams for the first 2 years of his starting experience. And then he played center last year, all of last year. So that's just kind of a funny aspect. I do believe that he and Allegretti should be allowed to duke it out in camp, and whoever earns the starting spot will be the starting center next year. And I do believe it's going to be a stopgap as well. He's going to provide a bit more strength in terms of taking on strength in the pass blocking department from what I've seen. I think that he's going to struggle a little bit in zone run blocking, excuse me. He doesn't seem to take it on in the best angles. He gets his shoulders up a little bit too high, and he also sometimes will lean too far forward when attempting to block. But I do think that he combos to the second level okay. He gets to the second level well. When he gets squared up on the linebacker, he can turn them and really open up some lanes that way. Now, the PFF, I hold the whole thing about PFF and his pass blocking situation. So let's just talk about a little bit about the situations that Austin Ryder was in last year and Blythe was in last year as well. You have Jared Goff, who was one of the more unathletic pocket moving quarterbacks that we've seen. He's really a pocket passer. He needs to stay in there. You know, if you want, you get him out on the move in terms of a bootleg here and there and that kind of thing. And tell you what, guys, they used a lot of bootlegs with taking the offensive line on his zone one way and having him come all the way back around because he doesn't operate well with pressure in his face. He doesn't want anybody around when he's throwing the football because he gets deflected, he throws it bad, throws into the other team. So Patrick Mahomes covers up a lot of issues that offensive linemen have. I think we saw that all last year and really was just poked holes in that whole thing throughout the Super Bowl. You need to have some level of competence on the offensive line. You can't have a bunch of backups in there because as good as Mahomes is, he's not going to be able to cover everything up, even though he should have thrown multiple touchdown passes in that game with the offensive line that was in front of him, which is incredible to think about. So I do think that Blythe is a guy that they're bringing in to compete for a starting job for this 1 year. I don't think that it takes center off the table at all. I truly believe that they'll probably target a center on the end of day three, possibly more on. Excuse me, on end of day two into day three. That's where I really see them. Maybe round four is their sweet spot. David Moore out of Grambling State, or am I missing that one? I know David Moore is a guy that I personally like. So I think that's an option for them as well. They're definitely going to draft one, I think. You can't bring in these stopgap centers because Austin Ryder was one, and I believe that Blythe is one as well. They're the same quality player, in my opinion, in terms of the tier that they're on in the NFL. I don't think that there is going to be much gained in terms of replacement level outside of some run blocking improvement. And that's going to be good for the Chiefs offensive line. They're going to have to run a little bit more this year with teams really dropping into coverage and forcing the Chiefs to run the football. I think that's what they're going to have to do a little bit better. So I think Blythe as well as Allegretti will bring that to the center position. But the games that I watched of Blythe, he's not an uber athlete by any means. I think he does some things well, getting out on the run and plays with a lot of effort. He does have a finishing mentality when he can get a defensive lineman or a linebacker turned. He does try to finish them to the ground, which is something I liked to see. He's also got a bit of a better head in terms of keeping on a swivel, looking for pass blocking opportunities when he has that. So I think this option, it does help solidify the center position going into the season, which is really what the Chiefs needed to do, whether it was going to be Ryder or, another center. I think that this helps them because now just need that left tackle. I think that they're going to probably bring in a veteran as well. You still have Rankin, who I think maybe could play left tackle a little bit. We don't really know. There's not much to know about him. So I hope that this was informative. I think that if we're talking about the offensive line as of now, you have Remmers at right tackle with Niang possibly being able to battle for that starting spot throughout the season. Then you've got Long. I think you're going to have Blythe as the starting center. You're going to have Tooney, and then whoever the left tackle is, and whether that's going to be Okung, whether it's going to be Villanueva, whether it's going to be Wagner, a different veteran, or if they're going to draft a center and just start him. So that's what I think we're looking at right now. And if you ask me, this offensive line is 100% better, even without a starting left tackle right now in every other position than it was last year, outside of Remmers being in place for Mitch Schwartz, who you really can't think about as he's replacing. You're going to have Remmers in there who played most of last season at right tackle, and he played very well. So I think that this offensive line, especially in the interior, is already better than it was last year. And I think that they're going to draft a left tackle, bring in a veteran left tackle, and they're going to have above average offensive line play for most of the season. So with that, we have another little free agency wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Enjoy your guys' morning. And again, I hope this was as informative for you guys from what I've seen on the film. And it's only a few games, and I'm hoping that he gets into Kansas City and does better and gets better, because that's really what it's all about. Is you got to come in, you have to be in the system, and you have to get better. And I think that he's going to help at least get the veterans in there, and you're going to have a very cohesive interior offensive line, something we haven't seen much of over the last few years. So you guys have a great morning and enjoy your day.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.